Was that awesome? And you know, it's only awesome because we have the best youth group in all of Orange County. Even though Christina and everybody and all the leaders and everything, I'm sure there's days when they go, I'm sick of it. Week after week, they're here. They do what they do. They learn about God's Word. They learn about God's people. They learn about God's ways. And I just think we should just give a big hand to our youth group. So, anyway, we have a special guest speaker today. His name is Jonathan Stockstill. And Jonathan and I go way back. I was the best man at his wedding. He was the best man at my wedding. And in fact, his beautiful wife, Mrs. Cassandra, he's got his 3 sons that are with him today. And the oldest is single. The youngest, they're still not sure. Venture out into that world. Anyway, Jonathan and I go way back. We were both youth pastors at the same time. He was youth pastor at a group in one area. I was youth pastor at a group down here. We would get together for these major youth events. We'd go ATCing with our kids. We'd go skiing. We'd go to camps. And remember one year we had to go to a winter camp. Worst winter camp ever. And we got there, and we had about 100-something kids between the two of us. We went to the first service, and we looked at what they were doing, and the kids were just like, oh my God. We drove 5 hours to get there. And me and John just put our heads together and said, you know what, we're doing our own. We're doing our own. We got snow, we got kids, we got everything we need, and it turned into one of the most incredible winter retreats that we ever could have had. He's a phenomenal guitarist, and he is also a worship leader. And so would you guys please put your hands together at a great Lincoln Avenue Baptist Church welcome.
Now I want you to put yourself in my place and ask yourself how you're going to follow that. So I tell you what, we'll make a deal today, and I'll talk until you all yell sick of it. Now, and I'll quit if I'm sick of it. It's good to be with you this morning. And I'm excited to share with you what I feel like God's given me to maybe help you out a little bit. Thanks, guys. Good job. And reminds me of 15 years of being a youth pastor. And I woke up one morning and I didn't want to go to Magic Mountain anymore. That's when I knew it was time to hang it out. Couldn't ride the rides anymore. I get sick now, so I was sick of it. That's right. All right. If you've got a Bible, turn to 1 Samuel chapter 16. That's my text for this morning. And I want to talk to you about essential steps in finding godly leaders. Dan asked me to check out the website, and I did, and I found out you guys are going to have a lot of different guys in the next few days and kind of be looking at as God directs you toward. Are the children going somewhere or something? Okay. All right. Children dismissed? Okay, good. And so, this is a message that God gave me back in the fall for a church. I'm an interim pastor as well as Ventura. Our lives have parallel universes for some reason. And I'm the interim pastor at the First Baptist Church of Beverly Hills. That's right. Ellie Mae, Jethro, and the whole clan's there. And the cement pond and everything. Yeah, if you go back that far, you know what I'm talking about. Essential steps in finding godly leaders. That's what I'm talking about today. In all of his writings, John Maxwell, who is one of America's foremost leadership gurus, says everything rises and falls on leadership. Great leaders are a gift. If you've ever worked under one, you know what a pleasure it is to work under somebody who has skills, talent, character to lead people in a positive direction to accomplish great things. It's a wonderful thing. But there's nothing worse than a bad leader. At best, they can be irritating. At worst, they can cause absolute disaster. I work with a lot of churches all over the LA area here, and it's amazing the condition of some of our churches because of poor leadership. Now, if you've been around any time, even as children and young people, you intuit, you know the difference between a good leader and a bad leader. You know a good teacher from a bad teacher. They have skills in motivating and moving people in a positive direction. We know good politicians from bad politicians, and unfortunately we're seeing more of the latter in our day. We know good parents. We know good sports stars and coaches because there's something inside of us that recognizes a good leader. But when we consider spiritual leadership, leaders for God's church, the stakes jump exponentially because there's so much more at stake. Therefore, it behooves us to consider carefully who we allow to lead God's people because they have people's lives in their hands. They literally have people's lives in their hands. Now, while I was in college, there was a guy that actually grew up in a church where my dad was the pastor. His name was Terrell Berry. He got his start in our church in Upland when my dad was the pastor many moons ago. And Terrell became a pastor himself, and so when I was in college, I went to his church. Terrell was a great leader. He was inspiring. He was forceful. He was prepared. He was thorough. He had character. And I remember that he and I would meet once a week to talk about what it means to follow Jesus Christ. Now, we had softball teams at the church, and I love to play sports. Played sports since I was a kid. Still try to play them today. Can't do it quite as well as I used to. I lost my hops somewhere along the line, about 40 years old. Well, maybe it's more like 20. I don't remember. But we had a softball team. He was the pitcher, and so we'd go get together. He would pitch, and I would catch for him. And that was a really great way to start our time together. And then we just sit down and open up the Word of God, and we talk about what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. I have a notebook full of notes from those times that we spent together that I value dearly because he was leading me to a better life, to a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ, to become a better me, if you will, that God created me to be. And so it's amazing the impact that a great leader can have on a person's life. It's amazing. But you don't have to be a big-time pastor or somebody famous or a coach or something to be a great leader. You can just be somebody maybe that people don't notice. See, there was a little lady at the First Baptist Church of Upland when I was just a little kid. Her name was Betty Chamberlain. All of us kids called her Miss Betty. Miss Betty had a bad eye. She couldn't see out of it. And she never married. And there was nothing really comely about her appearance that you would go, wow, what a neat lady. But Miss Betty loved kids. She loved kids. And every Sunday she would bring packs of gum to church to give to us kids. And the only instruction was, don't chew in church. I went and saw Miss Betty, about 3 weeks ago now? Maybe more than that, yeah. She's in the convalescent hospital. And I just thanked her. I thanked her for loving me. The world will probably never know about Miss Betty. But she was a great leader. That's okay. No. She was a great leader in her own right. Now, unfortunately, in the church, there are other kinds of leaders. And my mother and father-in-law go to a church in Prescott, Arizona that was almost destroyed by a bad pastor. He was insecure and unavailable to the people. He was a poor communicator. He was unteachable. And he almost killed their church because he didn't have the character and the skills to lead a group of people. Now, I've been watching, and I'm guessing as I've been sharing my experiences, faces and names were popping into your head of people who were great leaders in your life, or people who actually were just the opposite. People who encouraged you and brought you farther along in your life, or people who actually created barriers that you become who you are today. Maybe it was a teacher who believed in you, or a coach who saw something in you that other people didn't see, or maybe it was a friend who positively impacted your life, or maybe a parent or someone that you trusted that created havoc and brokenness in your life by breaking trust. Maybe you're thinking about a youth leader who was really important in your life, or a Sunday school teacher, or a pastor who helped you follow Jesus Christ in a deeper way than you ever thought you would, and moved you closer to Jesus. Here's what I want you to understand today, and really this is kind of my message in a box. The way that we select leaders, the way we go about it, determines the kind of leader we find. And if we do it the wrong way, the consequences can be devastating. But if we do it the right way, amazing things can happen. You see, my question is, how is it that guys like the pastor at my mother-in-law's church even get hired? How does that happen? Nobody saw this coming? What was it that they missed? And how can we make sure that we don't find leaders like that in our lives? I believe that God gives us principles for selecting the kind of leaders that can lead us to victory, that can lead us to success, that can lead us to a better life. And here's the thing I want you to take away today. God provides leaders for His purposes if we will trust Him through the process. God provides leaders for His purposes if we will trust Him through the process. And the Bible gives, interestingly enough, many examples of how to choose leaders. Some that are to be imitated, others that are to be completely avoided. And one example I thought was really particularly worthy of imitation is the example of how God led Samuel the prophet to choose David to be the next king of Israel. You got a Bible? It's 1 Samuel chapter 16. You want to read with me? I'm reading from the New International Version today. 1 Samuel 16.